Hi, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Conversation Series from ECAGO Africa 2025. Myself, Libin, Chacko, Kurian from Start Media Group. We are here in Nairobi. Right now, I'm sitting down for a video interview with the Executive Vice President and Chief Revenue Officer of SmartKargo, the technology solutions provider company for global air cargo industry. Mr. Olivier, thank you so much for joining us today.
Libin, it's a pleasure to see you. Yeah.
Let's start by talking about the role of technology in modernizing the global air cargo operations. SmartKargo has been a leader in providing cloud-based technology solutions for air cargo. Tell us about how the technologies are changing air cargo.
Yeah, no, it's a very wide question, and thank you for asking it. The technology is the name of the game today. I mean, it's transforming the way we are doing or transporting or executing our cargo businesses, as an industry. And it is becoming a real enabler to enhance cost efficiencies and accelerate revenue growth. So we're not doing technology just to move away from paper and automation, the typical, old century tasks. Right now, we are doing a lot more impactful use of technology in everyday what we're doing. So SmartKargo has been always on the leading edge. I mean, we're only, I would say, 15 years old since we went to market with our solution. But our focus was to really bring to market a unified, cloud-based, integrated solution to support the cargo industry. And that was a first in the market. So what we did is we are moving away from disparate multitude of legacy, different systems. And we brought this unity through cloud-based technology to cover all aspect of the business, from pricing, rating, booking, to operations at the airport, warehouse management, and the whole integration that goes all the way to invoicing, billing, and collections, where typically you had different systems before, one for booking, one for operation, one for ground handling, one for revenue accounting. Today, it's a unified, integrated platform. Why is it important? It's important because it simplifies the way. It creates one source of data and makes it real-time available, accelerate decision-taking, enhance customer experiences, and a lot of other ways to increase cost efficiencies. But also, technology, so beyond this first level of automation, now technology is becoming also a business enabler. Recent innovations that we saw in the last few years, integration of IoT, Internet of Things, and sensors and processes and monitoring, is really what made it much, what brought almost 30 to 40% growth in revenue for the air cargo industry by enabling a better processing of what we hear about every day, which is the high-level commodities in terms of high yield for cargo, which is perishable, pharma. All of these that are temperature sensitive, et cetera, that need real-time visibility. But all of this is integration of IoT with the system and being able to track, to monitor, and to prove that the SLAs aren't broken has enabled this growth in the last years. And now we're seeing another wave of growth in the industry driven by e-commerce acceleration, obviously. And that's 30% of the air cargo industry today. And without technology, you cannot be in the game. Technology is enabling that, and that's what makes SmartKargo unique, is we've been doing this for 10 years, right? We have been the only, not only on the leading front, but the only technology provider to bring to market an end-to-end supplier to consignee, shipper to consignee solution, which is what we call a door-to-door. Beyond the typical airport-to-airport air cargo, SmartKargo from day one was designed around package and parcel handling and traceability, parcel level of identification, and we integrate everything, not only the mid-mile, which is the air part, but the first mile, last mile. And we've been doing this for 10 years. So when e-commerce grew massively after the pandemic, not only we were ready, we were already deployed in many geography and allow many of our airline clients to embrace that and become pioneers. So what we provide is literally a virtual integrator business model by bringing a lot of partnership and through technology of all these players. So without technology, it's a long answer to your short question. Technology is the name of the game. If you don't have the latest technology, well, you're being commoditized and you become a flying truck without any intelligence in it. And I don't believe any airlines in the world or cargo carrier operator want to be in that position anymore.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much for taking us through that service offerings of SmartKargo. One of the recent partnership that you had was with Maersk. SmartKargo recently, integrated its ERP system into their own controlled flight operations. What impact that will have?
Well, I mean, it's listen. This is one of multiple. Every new client for SmartKargo is a technology partnership because this is the way we feel ourselves. We are a partner to our client. We work hand in hand to help them realize their revenue and grow their business. Maersk is very strategic for us because Maersk is it's a leader in maritime shipping to start with. That went into air cargo because they saw the necessity to move valuable goods in a faster way and provide a full range of portfolio of services, supply chain services to their clients. They already have multiple large shippers that are consuming all of these clients. So what Maersk needed is the same level of technology that helped them integrate or unify all their different platform of services. They have different type of business. As I said, I refer to the maritime, we're not there. But in the future, as a second phase, we're gonna be integrating also the air and the maritime in a multimodal way. But today we're helping Maersk, and that was a very fast, very successful project, by the way. It took us less than 6 months to deliver at a complex environment where we are now supporting Maersk Air Cargo. We are also integrating with their freight forwarder business, with Senator International that they own. We are providing them one view. We are helping them operate in all geography. Maersk is a complex business. I mean, they have a massive presence in everywhere from Korea, China to US, Europe, Middle East, Africa, everywhere. And for us to deploy a system and ensure everybody's ready to embrace this technology, doing all of this in 6 months is, it's becoming a case study and a landmark. We're very proud of it. So we look at our future. I mean, there will always be, that was phase 1, there will be phase 2, phase 3. We see this partnership as a beginning, not an end of it. So it's going to be exciting for the rest of the world as well, as we really bring to, in the future, reality of a multimodal technology-based offering of a supply chain to clients, basically. That's Maersk's ambition. We are just a technology partner for them.
Okay. What are the other recent partnerships of SmartKargo that you are excited about?
Yeah, we have a lot. Actually, as I mentioned before, today, the growth in air cargo is really driven. I mean, I would be stupid not to mention e-commerce. E-commerce is becoming, the engine of growth of the air cargo industry. As I mentioned earlier, I was moderating a panel on technology, and I mentioned that e-commerce became 25% of air cargo revenue. And that happened over a 3 or 4 years period. We went from almost nothing to 25%. And there is no stopping it. So it started with B2B. B2B being shippers, shipping consolidated packages of good in container to reposition in warehouse in other countries and then make e-commerce distribution locally. So that is typical air cargo. Started there. But there is a real need for that, which is the visibility, the piece level identification, to be ready for anything that happens, to follow it, because this is how retail works. I mean, it's not even transportation. We're talking about real-time retail distribution. So it started with B2B, and then we became into B2C. B2C is businesses sending and distributing to consumer anywhere in the globe. We had already started expanding in the domestic e-commerce distribution markets with very large positions. I mean, we are in countries like Brazil with a partnership with Azul, our client. We have a similar partnership for North America with Delta. So we're doing e-commerce distribution with Delta. And this is bringing a competitive offering that is competing against UPS, FedEx, and Amazon Prime. I mean, that's very ambitious. And technology helps that. We have a partnership in Europe, domestically, covering Norway, and we are working, I'm sure we're going to talk about Africa. We have a huge ambition for Africa because the underserved market today, especially from an e-commerce standpoint, we see a huge opportunity there. We have a position in India, and we have partnership that I cannot talk about yet to really cover what I call the next wave, which is cross-border e-commerce. Today, cross-border e-commerce, whether it's a B2C or a C2C, is becoming, is 20% of global e-commerce. I mean, it was merely 5% 5 years ago, now it's 20%. And cross-border e-commerce, and if you're able to distribute from factory to consumer, then you're cutting out many of the steps in the supply chain, and then you are really enabling global trade at a different scale, at the consumer scale, not at a business scale. And this is what we're seeing. And we have restructured all of our offering today from a solution standpoint. What SmartKargo stand for is our core cargo SaaS ERP solution, our domestic e-commerce distribution solution, and our cross-border e-commerce distribution solution. This is how we go to market. And we have partnerships with clients in all these dimensions. Where we see ourselves in the future, we see ourselves covering the globe and facilitating trade. This is how we define ourselves. And to do that, we don't pretend to be a shipper or a transporter ourselves. We're a technology enabler, and we are really focused on helping airline and air cargo operator re-owning the value chain end to end.
Thank you so much for taking us through that evolution of e-commerce. E-commerce has been always an important part of a focus of SmartKargo.
Correct.
But you have mentioned that there are recent changes happening also, evolution happening, that growth is there. And you are targeting to capture more market in terms of e-commerce. But what enhancement that we can expect from your service offering side?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we're seeing, if I look backward to our product and our functionality and capability to like 5 or 7 years ago, today we are years of light ahead. And every new project or new partnership, shed a light on new enhancement, new technology. So today we provide visibility. I mean, we literally have a better technology than what FedEx uses globally, and they are a benchmark in the industry. We operate all the air cargo for UPS they're our client. We are partnering with a global Middle Eastern carrier that I'm not going to mention the name because I can't, in order to enable them to become a player in the courier and express business. So there a lot of this. So this is all the enhancement, and it starts from what traditionally we do in cargo and goes to integration, the mobile technologies and proof of delivery and return services and taking a picture and sending it, and it's fabulous. I mean, we're the only solution that today you can follow your shipment. I mean, you buy something on internet, and if you're using our technology through a third-party shipper, you can, by geo-positioning globally, see your package moving. I know there are integrators who offer this visibility. Oh, your package left the warehouse, it's on its way to be delivered. But between those milestones, you have zero visibility. Today, we have the real-time technology to really track it real-time. You can see it. And it's fabulous. So that's an example of how we are adopting technology. Not to mention, I'm sure you're going to ask about how AI is going to play a role is there. Well, we look at AI as another leverage of more capable data processing and computing, and a set of engines and algorithms that you can adopt. If you have the business expertise to put them in your context, then you can break new frontier, and we're already doing a lot of that. So it's really enabling us from in every day of our operation. Today, for example, if we have one client, I mentioned, for example, in the US, with Delta, our partnership is called Deliver Direct. You can go on deliverdirect.com. If you go on Deliver Direct, we have the visibility not only to see how the SLAs are monitored, but we can, because of artificial intelligence and technology, we know in advance that this package will not make it within the SLA, so we flag it. And it's not only static that we know we're gonna miss the SLA. No, actually, AI allow us to reroute and find another way and see how can we correct it to make sure we don't miss the SLA. And if there's nothing that we can do, maybe because of weather conditions or disruption that is beyond our control, we make sure we bring that communication to the end client and rescheduling. We make the whole customer experience more plausible. So this is another example of what we're doing from a product and an innovation standpoint.
Thank you so much for taking us through those examples. That's really interesting. SmartKargo recently joined TIACA as a trustee member.
Correct.
With the focus on e-commerce, what are your priorities as part of the e-commerce committee, particularly, and how do you see SmartKargo influencing the industry-wide digital adoption?
Yeah, I mean, we're very proud to join TIACA because I don't see that because of my relationship with my friend Glenn. No, just kidding. I think TIACA, from our perspective, is the true representative of the air cargo industry, with all due respect to other, organizations. TIACA is the federative of all the stakeholders. So, in my opinion, we should reinforce TIACA's role and allow TIACA to play a bigger role in facilitation. Not in coming and imposing standards that takes 20 years to be deployed, and at the end of the day, it doesn't interest anybody, but being efficient, sharing know-how, sharing experience, and that's the focus. Enhance, accelerate training, bringing this expertise to the industry to just accelerate the adoption and the transformation. And this is why we joined TIACA, and we thought we have a better role to play, focusing on this I would say, a new jungle that no one knows how to deal with. If you are from the air cargo industry, you're discovering what is e-commerce, what is a retailer, an e-retailer shipper, what type of system they have, what's an order management system, and how it's going to affect me. So we're trying to contribute to educate and to share our experience. This is why we immediately jumped on the e-commerce work group. And I think we're working on trying to put in place a first white paper that really describe the industry, the processes. It's an introduction, it's an education. And so we don't have a pretension to impose, direct, or do something. We believe there is enough standards in the industry, but at the end of the day, the real standard is how do you communicate with the client, which is the shipper? That's the most important thing. How you take what they have and make it happen and deliver the product to the end consumer in an easy and understandable way, and technology has to solve that, not the opposite. That's what we believe. So I think, as I said, education, knowledge sharing, know-how, and just making it more attractive to many players to try to focus on that, because I think air cargo has a huge role, because it's the only what flies in the air can reach in hours, not days. So air cargo bring the safety and the rapidity, the fastness. And so faster SLA, if we can solve the cost equation in the same time, then I believe we will be shifting away from more expensive and unsustainable other mode of transportation than like trucking, basically. So moving away from trucking, and that's what the Deliver Direct in the US is solving. Instead of delivering in 3 to 5 days by truck, in the US today, we're delivering next day or in 2 days by a flight, which is, from a sustainability standpoint, is less harmless to the environment as well, and gets faster. It's a win-win, everybody's happy.
Olivier, we are here in Nairobi for Air Cargo Africa
Yes.
2025. The air cargo market industry here in Africa is growing, but there are gaps in terms of infrastructure and technology. How is SmartKargo helping airlines here in Africa?
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a great question. I mean, we're here. This is our first participation here in Air Cargo Africa. I mean, it comes. It's a perfect timing for our strategic execution as an enterprise, as a company. We, as I said, we are a young company, but we chose to go to market in everything we do in a focused way, because we're growing very fast and we don't want to choke if we cannot swallow as fast as we can eat. So we went to market geography by geography and trying to be meaningful, bringing the needed solution, the technology, and gaining market share. And we're growing fast. SmartKargo, we're very proud to say that we're still growing at a minimum 30% every year in terms of revenue, as a minimum. Last year we grew by much more, but I'm not going to disclose how much. But it's growth. So we reached the point that today we're ready to focus on our untapped market, which is Africa. Africa is a fascinating market, very underserved, and very promising. As we heard it here in this event, it's 20% of land mass. Africa is equal to Asia in size. People don't realize that. Okay, Africa is bigger than North America, USA and Canada combined. People don't realize that. It's 20% of land mass. It's 18% of world population. And what is more even attractive is the average age of this 18% is 19, is below 20 years old. This is the future. I mean, people, they consume technology. Of course, not all Africa is modernizing. There's a huge gap, as you mentioned, in infrastructure, in technology. But this young generation is going to help leapfrogging all the slow growth and adoption. That's what we believe. So we're very positively enthusiastic about Africa, and we see already 3 or 4 partnerships shaping already, and they are going to not only shape some of the air cargo operation, and again, this continent is badly served from inside. African carriers owning African air cargo is a very small piece compared to international carrier coming and digging in here, right? It happened in India 10, 15 years ago, where we saw all international carrier tapping into India. Now India is waking up. We're seeing major airlines building in India, and it's rightful for them to regain some of their own market share. And we're seeing the same thing's going to happen in Africa. Now, we're saying about the opportunity, but there are a lot of challenges. We don't underestimate the challenges, but we're good at solution things. In SmartKargo, I mean, we always take the hardest, possibility in case study, and we try to. We proudly can solution things by I believe by hiring the right people, by doing the right investment, bringing in the right technology, and working around, not trying to change an existing landscape and get into any political thing. We're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to educate. The complexity in Africa is 54 countries. 54 countries, which says despite what's announced, there's no unified market. You're dealing with 54 customs, 54 regulations, and more. So you have to be smart about it. It took us some time, but I think we're going at it from a regional focus based on culture, homogeneity, and ease of penetration, and also network and coverage. And we see this as a new future engine of growth of SmartKargo. So on both the traditional air cargo, but more exciting is the e-commerce and adoption. So today, 0.5% of global e-commerce is in Africa. This is like, come on. It only can grow, and let's make sure we can help grow it faster.
Olivier, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.